As 2024 comes to an end, I'm taking the next couple weeks away from podcasting so that I can focus on spending time with my family and my friends. I'm recharging my batteries just a little bit, and I hope that you are too. But I'll be back in 2025 with new decor trends, new things to try, design tips and tricks, all the things that you've come to enjoy on this podcast. So for the next couple episodes, you are going to be listening or re-listening to fan favorites from the year 2024. These were episodes that caught listeners' attention and quickly became fan favorites. Enjoy, and I'll see you in 2025. We grew up with the phrase, home is where the heart is, but our culture has shifted and now the message is, home should be Pinterest perfect. I'm calling BS on that message. Home, it's not about the stuff, it's about the story. And whether you know it or not, your home is a reflection of you and is already saying something. So what is it that you want it to say? Hey, I'm Danny, a former first grade teacher turned home decorator. Going from a dual income to a single income so I could stay home with my babies meant budget, like ramen eating, Goodwill shopping budget. And I learned a few things along the way, like how to bring big style to your home without breaking the bank. And I'm sharing it all with you. Tips, tricks, decor, and design advice so you can learn to tell your story with your style, where you can start living free from the Pinterest perfect trap and start living a life of intention. Welcome to Fig and Farm at Home, where we design happy living and where it doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Fig and Farm at Home. I don't know about you, but sometimes I get a little tired of hearing about all the latest trends. If I think about trends even in fashion, there was a time when I thought skinny jeans, no way, there's no way I would wear them. What did I do? It took a while, but I ended up wearing them. Now as they're going out, I'm about a year behind again. But that can be the same in home design too. And there are times when I look up and I see another home trend. And I look around and I see, oh, that one's gone, but here's a new one. And I can't keep up. And I don't know about you, but I don't necessarily want to keep up. I would prefer to have timeless, classic design in my home. And so today we're diving in with 10 design elements or 10 things to think about in order to keep a timeless design in your home. So whether you are starting today or whether you are refreshing or whether you are just making do with what you have, we are going to be giving you the tips to make sure that your next decision is a timeless one. And then I have 2 fun announcements to make. So stick around and enjoy today's show. When I look up timeless and classic in the dictionary, this is what I hear. Timeless? It's not affected by the changes of time or changes in fashion. And classic means to be judged over a period of time and to be of the highest quality and outstanding value. So let me ask you this. When I say we want to think about creating a classic or timeless design in your home, what do you picture? Are you picturing your grandma's house? Are you picturing a little bit more traditional? Doilies maybe? Valances? Are you picturing real furniture? And I am doing air quotes here because there was a time when Mr. Fig and Farm and we didn't have real furniture. We couldn't afford real furniture. We had futons. We had hand-me-down chairs. We had a table, a $60 table from IKEA that, by the way, oh gosh, I wish I had that table. It was solid pine. It was really big and it was so good for crafting. I crafted on that thing like nobody's business, but it was our dining room table first and I wish I still had it. But we had the cheap stuff. We had the hand-me-downs. And when I think about a timeless and classic design, I think opposite that. So I'm curious, what are you picturing? What are you thinking about before we even get started digesting what that is, breaking it down? What do you think it is? All right, let's dive in. And if you do not have a notebook and a pen yet, you might want one, because if you are craving this idea of anti-trend, if you're craving this idea of creating a home design that feels cohesive, looks super cozy, but is also timeless, that you don't have to change next year when the next wave of trends comes in, If you want that, grab a notebook, grab a pen, because you're going to want to know what these 10 design elements are. The first element that creates a timeless classic design is really where the foundation lies, and that is in your color palette. Creating a color palette that is predominantly neutrals and flows cohesively throughout your home is definitely a timeless trademark, a classic trademark. And I don't necessarily mean that you just have to stick in the whites or the oatmeals or the beiges, the creams. It could be grays. It could be even very light blues, but it is a neutral. And if it was a blue, for example, it would be acting as a neutral. But the idea here is that this foundation is carrying throughout your home. So you won't see in a timeless classic design, you won't generally see accent walls. You won't generally see bold hues. You won't generally see transition of color in room to room to room. And this is really one of the foundations of creating a cohesive design anyway, is having that color run throughout any open concept area. But keeping it neutral, keeping it light and airy neutral, I'm going to add, is really a trademark. And that neutral palette isn't just going to hang out on the walls. It's going to hang out in the furniture. It's going to hang out in the carpet. It's going to hang out in the textiles. It's going to hang out all over. It's going to be really predominant. Now, that doesn't mean your home is lack of color. You can have pops of color, and you would still have a color formula. You would still use a color formula like I teach in Home Design 101. You'd use that inside of a timeless classic design. But the colors wouldn't be bold in nature. They would be a little bit more subtle hues. And they're going to be, I think, generally in the cool spectrum, but not always. You're going to see the pops of color in places like textiles. You're going to see it in things like curtains, in vases. You're going to see it in things like upholstered chairs, which we're going to get to the upholstered chair bit in just a minute. But you're going to see it in other places, and they're not going to necessarily take center stage. All right, the second thing you would see in a timeless classic design, and I'm going to actually pair this with the third thing too. These are quality upholstery and timeless furniture pieces. So what do I mean by that? I mean things that are made well. They have really great craftsmanship. Like someone took hours getting the final details just right and didn't put it through a machine to get the bulk finish, to get the quantity finish. Pieces like this generally have really clean lines and a really lovely silhouette, and that adds to the elegant nature of it. But then when we add literally the upholstery to it, it's going to be a finer quality. It's going to be a thicker quality. And then let's mention the details. You might see the details that might go missed if you stood across the room. But as you get closer, you might notice that that fabric that is making up that oatmeal colored couch is actually herringbone. Or you might notice that the detailing on the arms of the Chesterfield sofa, for example, is brad nailing. Or you might notice that really lovely piece of furniture, that credenza that's sitting in the dining room, that it is hand carved rather than MDF. You get closer and you realize that that piece of wood that is making up that dining table is, wow, that is solid. It is the attention to detail in both the pieces, the shapes, and the upholstery if you have it on there. The fourth element that makes up a timeless classic design are architectural details. Now, to all of you who are listening who think, there are no architectural details in a builder-grade home. Yeah, there really aren't. But we can add some. And I want you to make sure you subscribe to the show, because next week we are talking all about architectural details you can add to your builder-grade home to give it more of that timeless classic feel, things that you can do on your own in a weekend. But in the meantime, architectural details are a trademark. They are a hallmark of classic design. They add character, they add warmth, they add nuance to the design, and they add a lot of charm. The fifth thing that you would see in a timeless classic designed home is symmetry. So when I am looking at gallery walls or when I am looking at styled credenzas, I might not see one lamp on the styled credenza, I might see two. I might not see a non-structured organic gallery wall. I'm probably going to see a gallery wall that has the same frame, the same matting, the same black and white or sepia tone color of the photos. I'm going to see something that makes it look like a collection. And symmetry does that. It makes it look balanced. And in that balance, there's a little bit more order and calm in the design, and that leads to a sense of refinement. The sixth thing you'll find is classic prints. So you might not necessarily find bright, bold polka dots or other whimsical patterns, but you would find stripes, you would find plaid, you would find floral. All of those are a trademark of classic design. And you wouldn't just find them on pillows. You would find them on curtains. You would find them on upholstered dining chairs. You would find them on rugs. You would find them really in any textiles that are scattered throughout the home. The seventh thing that you would find is classic artwork. So if we go back to the idea of the gallery wall, you might find multiple family prints, and those family prints would have some semblance of order and calm to the design. They might be from multiple family photo sessions throughout the generations, but there would be a common element that's tying them all together, and that common element might be the tone of the print. Black and white, sepia tone. They're going to be united in a way that makes the pictures make sense together as a collection. And I mentioned before having a matting in the same frame. But artwork in general is going to be anti-big box store. So you're not going to find canvas prints, or you're not going to find prints that might be a little bit more commercial, but you will find prints that look like they might have been curated over the course of time. They might have been found at a Parisian flea market. They might have been found at the flea market down the street. They might have been gathered from grandma or given from auntie. These are more curated pieces, a little bit more unique than the item next door, than the person next door has. You might find a little bit more uniqueness in the style of the frame. So instead of being all flat and black with no dimension, you might have some hobnail on there, or you might have some black with brass, or you might have some intricate brass detailing. It might look like a chunky vintage frame, even if it is not, even if it is a replica. Remember, classic timeless design is all about the details, and those details can be big and those details can be really little, but those details are showing up over and over again. The other thing too is the accessories. And the accessories, again, just like the artwork is curated or looked like the appearance of, it is curated over a longer period of time. Things that you find that might be found at antique shops, flea markets, given from grandmas and aunties and people who you've loved through the generations, rather than purchased at big box stores. Now, can you purchase some of your items from big box stores in order to create the curated look? Absolutely. Absolutely, yes, you can. But it's a matter of picking and choosing and not buying it all in droves. It's a matter of making sure that you're in tune with your aesthetic and the aesthetic you want for your home, so that you know which pieces to bring in, so that it doesn't look like you've formed a collection based off of what was available in the spring collection at the big box store. The eighth thing that you will find in timeless classic designed homes are natural materials. And we talk a lot about natural materials here. We talk about rattan and wicker, things like that. And that's true as well. But I want you to think more in terms of stone and metals. When you think about stone, what is the most classic design of stone you can think of? Marble. And marble is a keystone of timeless classic design. Now, do you have to have marble? You don't. You don't have to have marble. But if you do, you are well on your way to having a timeless classic designed home. Metals as well. Metals are going to be cohesive. They are going to flow fluidly through your house just like your color palette will. And a lot of timeless classic designed homes, they have brass. Brass is warm. It is translatable, and it's something that has stood the test of time, just as marble has. The ninth thing that you will find in these homes are statement lighting. It's almost in line with the architectural details. There are no builder grade lighting pieces. There are statement pieces. We're talking chandeliers, pendant lighting that makes a statement, sconces, picture lighting, if you can imagine what I'm picturing when I say that, the lights that go over a picture. And I'll add too that even table lamps are more interesting and detailed than something small in nature. So imagine a table lamp that has a really thin, narrow base. Contrast that with something that is a little bit more classic, and that's going to have, we call them gourd vases because they're the shape of a gourd. They might have that, or they might have more bulbous type of base to it. They're going to be rounded out a little bit, and there's going to be detailing on it. It might be in terms of print, maybe floral, or maybe even textured. And the 10th thing that really sets a home apart to be a little bit more timeless and classic is that there is quality over quantity. And you know where I'm going here. You're probably tired of this broken record, but it is really true, and one of the common elements that should be considered when you are decorating your home, when you're designing your home. And that is the removal of stuff. Because like I say all the time, it is really hard to see the pretty beyond the stuff. If you're fighting with that, if you're looking over it, if you're pushing it aside in order to see beyond it, it's too much. It is hard to put the pretty stamp on something that is going to be looking at you ugly in the face the next day. And so timeless classic design is really more about quality than it is about the stuff, about the quantity of stuff. So removal is mandatory. All right, friends. So there you have it. In a nutshell, the quick recap, the 10 things that are the hallmarks, the trademarks, the keystones of timeless classic design are a neutral color palette, quality upholstery and timeless furniture, architectural details, classic artwork and accessories, symmetry, natural materials, classic patterns, statement lighting, and quality over quantity. In a nutshell, avoid the trends and curate your items as if they are picked over a long period of time rather than gone to the big box store to collect them in a weekend. Friends, if creating a timeless classic design for your own home feels unreachable or unmanageable, I want you to know that it is. It is very much attainable. Creating a home that is timeless and classic starts with knowing how to make the right choices. Starts with knowing really ultimately where to start. All of that is unlocked for you inside of Home Design 101. That color palette we talked about, you learn how to create one. Using and choosing patterns, we teach you that. And knowing the difference between a structured and an unstructured gallery wall, that's in there too. Learning how to style bookshelves, learning how to style mantles, learning how to see the pieces together and how they work together in your home before you purchase anything, that's in there too. Friends, Home Design 101 was designed for you, knowing that we aren't always born with the ability to decorate our home. We aren't always taught how to decorate our home, but it is teachable. Those homes you admire so much on Instagram or HGTV, those homes could be yours. Inside Home Design 101, we meet twice a month in office hours to answer your questions. So when you're feeling stuck, you have someone right there cheering you on and helping you decide between that lamp that you think is just perfect and right for your room and the one that actually is. All right, friends, you can register for Home Design 101 by going to figandfarmathome.com/home-design-101. I can't wait to see you in class. All right, before we wrap up and close out today's show, there are 2 things I want to share with you. The first one is the survey is closed, and if you're not sure what I'm talking about with the survey, I invited all of my design besties, the people in my Facebook group, and some of you to participate in a survey. And that survey was going to give me lots of great information, which it did, by the way. I'll be sharing that later, about how I can better serve you. But right now, we need to know who won. So I have my little name picker up here. Imagine this. I want you to picture a Wheel of Fortune wheel spinner. And you know how if you've ever watched Wheel of Fortune, they do the spin thing and you hear the click, 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 and it lands? That's what we're going to do. I have all of the people who have participated in the survey. You are on the spinner. And in just a minute, we're going to know who won the $50 Home Goods gift card. And if you're thinking, wait a second, hold on a second. I didn't know about the $50 gift card. Why didn't I know about that? I have good news for you. So hang tight, because in just a second, I'm going to tell you how you can win $50 too. Are you ready? All right, let's spin. Did you hear that? That horn? Oh, all right. We have the winner right here. All right. Congratulations to Talisa. You are the winner of the $50 gift card. I will email you so that you know. All right, friends. Now, stick around. If you're wondering, wait a second, I did not know about the $50. How did I win the $50? Okay. If you didn't know about it, it's because you are not a design bestie, or you didn't open the email. So if you have signed up to be a design bestie, make sure you open your emails. I send them every Friday for you. And I hear that sometimes they go into the spam folder. So make sure you open it so you don't miss out. But those of you who would like to be a design bestie, it's not too late. I send out lots of goodies all the time, and you can email me at hello@figandfarmathome.com and say, hey, I want to be a design bestie. I don't want to miss out on the $50 option the next time. But here's the secret, because just this week we hit a milestone at Fig and Farm at Home, and I'm feeling super generous as a way to celebrate. So I'm giving away another $50. And here's what happened. Now, this may not seem like a big milestone for you, but as a podcaster, it's kind of a big deal, and I'm super excited. So just this week, maybe yesterday, maybe the day before, I didn't see it when the number actually spun, but Fig and Farm at Home hit 100,000 downloads. That means that 100,000 times people pressed play on the episodes. People tuned in to listen. People said, yes, I want to listen a little bit more about how to create a home that I absolutely love. And hopefully people shared it with their friends. 100,000 times. I'm beaming from ear to ear, thinking that my voice that I was so trembling and so scared to share those years ago has been listened to 100,000 times. It's incredibly humbling, and I want to celebrate, and I want to celebrate you, because it wasn't necessarily me who pressed play 100,000 times. I might have pressed play a couple times, but it was you. And so I want to give back to you. So here's what's going to happen. I'm giving away another $50 to Home Goods. All right, here's your chance to win. Are you ready? Between today and February 14th, I want you to go to Apple Podcast, click on my show, Fig and Farm at Home, and I want you to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And I want you to leave a 5-star written review. Why? Because the more people who talk about the show, who share reviews, who leave 5-star ratings, the more this podcast is going to be seen by others just like you. Other mamas who are wanting to learn a little bit more about creating a home that they actually love looking at, that they actually love being in. When you leave that review, it changes the algorithm, those pesky little things that keep people like me hidden. But those reviews matter. It lights me up to hear what it is you like about the show, what it is you've learned from the show, how it is it's made an impact on you, and it allows it to be seen by other people. It's a win-win, win-win-win. Now, in order to enter in to the $50 giveaway, you need to take a screenshot of the review that you just left, and I want you to email it to me at hello@figandfarmathome.com, or you can send it to me in a DM on Instagram at Fig and Farm. All of the details are going to be in the show notes so that you know how to leave the review. Now, here's the thing. Why would you bother? I know it's asking 30 seconds out of your day, a minute out of your day to go and leave a review. But friend, here's the reality. If you have been listening to more than 3 times, you are a design bestie. It means that you enjoy the show. We have climbed to 100,000 downloads because of people like you, because you've tuned in. And that tells me something. It tells me that you enjoy the show. So now I'm asking you, tell me what it is you enjoy about the show so that I know how to pour into you more and more and more so that I can serve you better and better each time I press record. All right, friends. So that contest is open until February 14th when I will announce on the show who is the winner of the other $50 gift card. Are you ready? Ready, set, go. Until next time, I'll see you soon. Hey, real quick before you go, if you learned something new or found value in today's podcast, would you head over to iTunes to Fig and Farm at Home and leave a review and subscribe to the show? That would be awesome. And if you'd like to connect with my community of mamas who are learning to be intentional storytellers within their own homes, join us at bit.ly/design101 group. There's always more room at the table. See you soon.